A very warm
Yeah,
welcome to all the participants to the third technical webinar session for ASSP India chapter. Today's topic is Incident Control Tools for Business, and we are honored to have Dr. Ganapathy with us for this session. I formally hand over the session to Dr. K.N. Sen, President ASSP India chapter, to set the context for the session. Over to you.
yeah. Good afternoon and good morning. Vanakkam and namaskar. So I'm very happy to be in this webinar, and I really feel that pain being taken by and the professional happiness and joy Dr. Vat is taking in delivering this webinar is applaudable because the time gap is big, and of course it is quite comfortable in India, but there are people joining from other part of the world, and everybody has made adjustment to their time. So I appreciate everybody joining this program, and I really welcome everyone to this event. Before I hand over to Jana and he takes it forward, a little bit about ASSP India chapter. We started in 2012. Uh, by the time ASSP was already 100 years old, having started journey in 1911. So 2012, when we started in Chennai, it was just 100 years and centenary was over. So a lot of people came from US, and our colleagues who are in Kuwait, Sri Ashok Garlapati and Mr. Jitu Patel, they all came and we started India chapter. And of course, say very senior people like Professor Dr. Ilangavan and all, they all been blessed this uh, uh, chapter when we started it. We also created a lot of student chapters. Some of them are quite active and some of them are not so today, because it is a volunteering initiative. Everybody is giving their personal time and sometimes personal money as well to keep it running. Because there is no subscription for the chapter. All the people who are member, all the subscription goes to the parent body. But we are very much able to get the resources, technical resources, the manuals, the journals, and also the very learned and very learned members who come and volunteer and speak. And Dr. Bhatt is one of such members who is volunteering and delivering the uh, webinar just because of the professional happiness. No transaction, no money. So this is very rare nowadays to come and volunteer. And there have been similar webinar, several we had in the past, and we have also scheduled for future, including some from US and other parts of the world like CPWR. We had Dr. Linda has spoken on climate, safety climate, which was facilitated by one of my colleague R. Bharadwaj. So we have been doing a lot of webinar, as many of you have already attended, and some of you would be also attending the future webinars. So this is the activity we are doing. We are having PDCs every year, one professional development conference. Last year it was with NITI. Previous year it was with IIT Madras. And like that, we have been trying to have it with the institution particularly, because we all are from industry. So bringing industry and institution together can create a huge benefit to both industry and institution. So that has been one of our focus, to bring the institution and industry so that both are benefited. And that way, say for example, uh, senior people from DG Fastly has also been helping us to bring this initiative in a small way. So today's content and topic is very interesting to all of us. So I will not stand between you and the speaker. So I hand over to I wish all the best to this event, and a very good learning experience for all of us. With this, I hand over to Jana for introduction of the uh, uh, respected speaker of the day, and take this event forward. Jana, over to you.
Yeah. So good morning, good evening to all of you. I welcome you all for the technical webinar 3 organized by ASSP India chapter. I would like to introduce Mr. Dr. Kanabadi. Dr. Kanabadi Bhatt Manshi is passionate, self-motivated, result-oriented, chartered health and safety professional with over 25 years of experience in occupational health and safety. Practical experience gained from a civil engineering background. He has completed masters in OHS from UK and PhD in civil engineering from India. In addition to this, he also has professional qualifications from CITB, NEBOSH, OCR UK. He is also a chartered member of IOSH, Canadian Registered Safety Professional, lead auditor for EHSMS, and COR internal audit in Ontario. He worked in various organizations in the Middle East, India, Canada, at various roles, starting from safety engineer to corporate HSE manager at various levels as client, CS, PMCM, and contractor. He contributed in the development of positive health and safety culture for the prestigious projects such as Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque Abu Dhabi, Dubai International Airport, OTCI Dubai, Bangalore International Airport, mega infrastructure project 38 square kilometers in Abu Dhabi, Qatar Economic Zone at Al Qatar are the named to few. In addition to his professional competence, he extensively worked on yoga science, music therapy, organized events on behalf of workers' well-being. He spreads OHS awareness among people, actively promotes health and safety by mentoring, guiding the younger generations at engineering colleges and working professionals through webinars under the banner of 3AG. He conducted many successful mental wellness programs at various organizations for senior professionals and addressed at IOSH branch meeting Qatar on signs of stress and secret of well-being. Recently, High Commission of India, Canada awarded third prize male adult category on occasion of 6th International Day of Yoga. Today, we are fortunate to hear from the eminent personality about his experience and lesson learned under the topic Incident Control Tools for Business. I'm sure this session will be a very informative and interesting for all. Okay, once again, I would like to invite Dr. Kanabadi.
Many thanks, Jana. Thanks for the opportunity, ASSP India chapter and all participant dignitaries. A special thanks to Dr. Sen, Janardhanam, and Digantika for organizing this event. Let me take you through the bigger picture in this bottom line, people and occupation health and safety business. According to science, we are living in this solar system. In this solar system, our experience is the planet Earth we are living in. And in this planet Earth, we are 7.8 billion people. That is what Google says. And in this planet Earth, there are living beings. Under that living beings, there are 5 kingdoms. Under the in that 5 kingdoms, we are coming under the animal kingdom, under the vertebra category. So our life cycle is from birth to death. This is what our life cycle is. And in this life cycle, we are following the Maslow's hierarchical human needs. That is basic needs, psychological needs, self-fulfillment needs. To fulfill these needs, we are following a number of businesses in this planet Earth. We are having a number of occupations. When we say this number of occupations, the occupational health and safety is our business. So this is where I'm coming to pitch our domain, that is occupational health and safety in this triple bottom line. So our primary goal here is to protect the people. from the illness and injury, whilst protecting the planet also. So if we protect the planet and we use the planet and we live in this planet Earth and make the facilities for future generations, and thereby making the profit. So we are in the middle of a profit and a planet. So it's a very occupational health and safety is one of the noble profession that we are in. So let us discuss about this occupational health and safety, the history of it. OHS, occupational health and safety, is a relatively recent phenomenon. So there are lots of opportunities in this domain. The health and safety legislations came into force in the USA 1970, UK 1974, in Canada 1978. So how the performance in the USA? 5,250 fatal work injuries recorded in 2018, a 2% increase. In the UK, 111 workers killed in 2019-20. In Canada, 1,027 workers died of work-related causes in 2018, marking an increase of 76 from 2017. So I have only taken the developed nations here. There are a number of nations have got health and safety legislations, but I have taken these three as a sample here. Let us see what ILO says. Since 1950, the International Labour Organization and the World Health Organization have shared a common definition of occupational health. If you look at these in the profession or occupational health and safety, even though it started in the UK in 1802, but it is a pretty much a new profession that came into force. So if you look at ILO statistics, what ILO says about the worldwide OHS performance. According to the press release, 12 April 1999, where 6 billion people were there, the ILO's chief, he pointed out that the workplace hecatomb of 1.1 million deaths was there in 1999, where 6 billion people were there, which exceeds the average annual deaths from road accidents, war, violence, etc. In 2014, what ILO says that 7.2 billion people were there, which is 1.2 billion increased. For that 1.2 billion people, 2.33 million deaths occurred. So straight away, 1.1 to 2.33 million. In 2017, ILO says for 7.6 billion, 2.78 million deaths were there. So that means a disproportionate increase in the number of fatal injuries. So why? What health and safety executive says about it? In 1990s, John Remington, former Director General of the Health Safety Executive, he says, we seem to have passed the era where the need was for further engineering safeguards in particularly hazardous industries. What we now need is to capture the human factor. And Health and Safety Guidance 48 in 1999, it says that it is estimated that up to 80% of accidents may be attributed, at least in part, to the actions or omissions of people. So what we are seeing here that despite of the population growth, but the number of fatal accidents, the occupational injuries are rising, disproportionately rising. So they are addressing since 1990s that we have to focus on the human factor. So what is this human factor or the human error? So we have to see, so what are the researches, what are the theories are already taken place in the history. Let us see, let us have a look into that. There are pioneers contributed to accident theories, such as Herbert Henrich, 1931, he started, then followed by Herbert Henrich, then Frank Bird, Edward Adams, and James Reason, etc. I'm not taking you through all the accident theories here. I'm just trying to give you the history of the accident theories, in which Dr. James Reason says that the human error problem can be viewed in two ways. One is the person approach, and the other one is a system approach. So if you refer the picture here in his Swiss cheese model, this is what he says, that the person approach and the system approach. So when we say person approach and system approach is an organization, in an organization, frontline worker error mostly linked with the hierarchy of supervisors above him or committed by self. So if a frontline worker is getting injured here, that means his supervisor and hierarchical managers are all involved in that organization. So in this system approach or the person approach, end of the day, we are talking about the human error only. So it's a human and human error related issues only we are discussing. So let us understand, if we know that now we know that the human error and the human factor, that is what addressed since the 1990s, where we need to tackle so that we can reduce occupational ill health, occupational related ill health and injury. So to prevent this occupational illness and injury, we understand now that the human error is a factor. So to have this human error, we have to understand how human error occurs. So there is a fundamental behind this human error, that is called memory. So let us see how the memory that we are building up. Through our 5 sensory organs, what we are doing according to the model of cognition, we use the 5 sensory organs and we collect the information to our attentional subsystem. That is what happens 24/7 since we take birth and until the last breath. So the information goes to attentional subsystem. Then if we do proper practice with the positive attitude, the right information or wrong information, but the information, the practiced informations will remain in the stores in the automatic subsystem. That is what we are, that's what our memory section. This one responds back to the environment according to the situation that is demanded. So this is how we are receiving the informations through 5 sensory information, goes to attention subsystem, stores in automatic subsystem, and we respond back to the society wherever we are living with, whatever the activities we do with 24/7 that we do. So this is how the memory we are talking about, and this memory, when it reflected back, how it is performing, that is what we call it as competence. So in HR formula, knowledge, skill, attitude, which is competence, and this competence means nothing but memory. So employer demands competency and the performance. So if we don't have the competency, there is no employment and there is no salary for us. So this is very important that we build up this competence. And even in the yogic system also, it says the process is cognition, and then recognition, then sensation and a reaction. This is a huge subject, but this is also over 15,000 years ago, this yogic system is existing and it is already addressing this matter. But in the modern science, this is what called the emerging model of cognition. So we talked about the competency, which is memory only. So memory delivery. So whilst doing this, whilst we are delivering the memory back, we are delivering back in 2 ways. One is a pattern matching, other one is a frequency gambling. So these are the 2 ways that we are performing. Pattern matching means for the situation, whatever it demands, if we have the informations here in automatic subsystem, and if it matches, then it's a pattern matching. When it doesn't match is the problem. If all the patterns are matched, then we are the competent people. And when it doesn't match, that there is a problem. The human error issue comes in. So let us see what is this frequency gambling. Here, I'm going to play one small video for you. In this video, there are three incidents. So one is driving plus passengers that caused a near miss. And the second one is driving plus handheld mobile. It's also caused a near miss. And the third one is driving plus SMS texting caused incident or accident. So let us see this video, and please watch carefully the three situations here.
Mom, Jack's dropped his dinosaur.
I can see it. Hang on, I'll get it for you.
I'm sorry, mate. I got held up. How do you spell that again? Push!
It only takes a split second to lose your concentration. Good drivers just drive.
See, if you look at this this incident, the driver maneuvered the steering. It was very instant, fraction of second. She took this action. This is called frequency gambling. It could have been a fatal injury, but luckily she escaped from it. So this is called a near miss. Frequency gambling in this video, in this particular incident, is the maneuvering of the steering. Let us see the second one. Here, if you can see, he applied the brake, that you can hear the sound. So application of a brake is a frequency gambling. And in this particular situation, he could save the pedestrians who were walking. So in both the situations, it was really a potential near miss, a potential accident could have been happened, but luckily not happened. So it turned out as incident. Now the third one. Yes. So here in the third incident, if you look at it, it was a property damage incident. So frequency gambling. So how we are summarizing from what Dr. James Reason says about it, mostly this frequency gambling will produce positive results. So that's what on a daily basis it happens with us, for every human being, whoever is living in this planet Earth. That's what he says, that this frequency gambling will produce positive results. If you refer the incident 1 and incident 2, steering maneuvering, that's why she saved herself and the children behind. And the second one, the driver saved himself and also from the pedestrian knocking. So in these two situations, it turned out as a near miss incident. And when frequency gambling fails, we get what Dr. Reason called a strong but wrong error. That is what the third incident. In this third incident, we really don't know whether there was a personal injury or not. So it doesn't matter how many years of driving experience you have. How you drive right now, that is what matters. So there are many people claiming that I have 25 years of experience in driving. There was no accident happened, but it happened today. It was the wish of God. That's why it was happened. Otherwise, I was a very good driver. Nothing happened so far. But the point is, what is the use of claiming such? If there is an accident and the one-time free gift that was given by the nature, if you lost it, and that's it, nothing can be, we cannot regain it back. So it's very important to understand this human error, and it's very important to understand that how we are acting right now, regardless of the informations we have, regardless of the memory we have to be very conscious in the activity that we do. Then only we can save ourselves, we can save others. So this is what the human error, that's what Dr. James Reason is identifying all about it. So how to develop, how to control this human error? So we understand now the human error. So how to control this human error? So it is very, very important to develop the incident control tools or the layers of defenses as Dr. James Reason identified. So to do that, how we as OHS professional should be. So we have a number of disciplines, number of businesses we have. So very much important that a competent OHS professional means we need to be adequately qualified. So whichever the discipline we are, maybe mechanical engineering, maybe civil engineering, maybe hotel industry, maybe agriculture industry, depends. Whichever the discipline we are, we need to be adequately qualified. We need to be suitably trained and with the sufficient experience. So the competent person means he is having these three qualities and he able to work with the no supervision or with the lesser supervision. Then only he will be called as a competent professional. So occupational health and safety is a multidisciplinary function. So I call this different hats that we are wearing all the time when we are called ourselves as occupational health and safety professional. So I identified a couple of other professions here. One is a construction doctor. We need to prevent ill health and injury happening to the people. So we are the one preventing the people reaching to the doctor. So we need to be a construction doctor. And also we need to be a lawyer. Otherwise we cannot prevent the company facing from the prosecution. So wherever the country we are working, applicable legislations, we must be very much familiar. We must be very thorough with that. So that we can advise to the management. Thirdly, we need to be a good psychologist. We need to know how the company management system is developed, how this is implemented, how it is safety culture is developed at work site. By just looking at it, by having one high visibility tool, we should able to understand the site safety culture. We also need to be a good teacher. Once we understand the site, once we understand the overall perspective of the company's occupational health and safety business, we need to teach, we need to train the people to bring everybody into a single page. So we need to educate the people. So we must be a good teacher skill we should have. And also, without exception, we must be a good administrator. So that means we have to have the processor role, player role, pusher role, pleaser role, everything we have to have the quality within us. Sometimes carrot, sometimes a stick approach. We need to use these tools. So engineer, as I already said, it's depending upon the discipline, whichever the industry you work with, and you need to be adequately qualified with that. So construction doctor, lawyer, psychologist, teacher, administrator, engineer. So it is a multidisciplinary profession. So it's a great profession. That's why it is a great profession, I wanted to say. So be proud. Occupational health and safety profession means please be proud that we are having a number of professions within us. What we need to understand that the fact that frequency gambling is inevitable. This much we need to understand that frequency gambling is inevitable. So provide layers of defenses. So in the risk management, the hierarchical risk control methodology is applicable. We are dealing with the material, we are equipment, environment, people, procedure. So the golden thumb rule is mix. So when we are dealing with the MEPs 24/7, so either at work site or off site, we are dealing 24/7. When we are dealing with the material, equipment, environment, people, procedure, these are all hazards. So when there are hazards and risk will be there. So we always say that acceptable risk. Acceptable risk means is okay. Any other risk that we cannot accept, that means we have to take control measures. So that is what Dr. James Reason is identifying, that you provide a number of provide layers of defenses for these material, equipment, environment, people, and procedure. So that is what he is meant. So when we, for example, road humps is one of the incident control tool, which is a layer of defense also. Supervisor, provision of supervisor also layer of defense. Procedures, brake shift interlock to prevent rollaway incident in an automatic car. If you remember, since 2010 in the United States, this brake shift interlock facility came into the car, so number of injuries were reduced from that. So the solution is develop and implement incident control tools and internal responsibility system. So it is not enough just only we develop the incident control tools. We also have to have people have to come together, because a layer of defense, as you see in the figure as per Dr. James' reason. So we have to have internal responsibility system. The person is responsible for what he has to do. He must do his job properly. And also, when we develop the internal responsibility system, we have OSAS 18001 or ISO 45001 standard. So this standard gives us a plan, do, check, act formula in which we have to fit according to the business, according to the site situation, according to the company needs. We have to develop a specific incident control tools, so that our focus, our aim to prevent occupational illness and injury can be achieved. So let me now, so far we discussed about the theory. Now let me take you to the practical approach. In 2004 to 2008, during this year, I was fortunate to work for Al Nabooda Line Group in Dubai. In Al Nabooda Line Group, Dubai, at that time, we were having around 10,000 operatives at site. On an average, there was a RIDDOR reportable lost time injury for every 400 to 800,000 hours. When I say RIDDOR reportable, there are reportable and non-reportable injuries. So the statistics, if you look at it, in 2004, we had 36 million hours we worked, and accident frequency rate to 0.25. That means every 400,000 there was one lost time injury, reportable lost time injury. If you look at 2005, 42 million man hours we worked, and 0.12 was the accident frequency rate. In 2006, around 36 million hours, and 0.15 was the accident frequency rate. Something like around 666,000, there was a reportable lost time injury. Looking at this statistics, 3 years, 2004, 5, and 2006, that time the business growth was very much high. Our Line Group chairman was very much upset. He wanted to implement the UK health and safety management system, the culture, safety culture to be developed in Dubai as well. So he gave the target to the managing director and operations directors that they have to get this, they have to improve this lost time injury frequency rate to 2.10. That means he gave the target that he will accept one reportable lost time injury per 1 million hours. So that's the target he gave to the managing director and operation directors. And having this target, That time I was studying Master of Science in Greenwich University, UK. I also had to submit dissertation to the Greenwich University. So I requested the company that may I work for this for the betterment of the company. So I was very much interested to see that how we can improve this accident frequency rate. So company wholeheartedly supported, because it was the drive from the chairman itself. So everybody was supporting for this, and I collected the 3 years accident statistics, which were 355 incidents and accidents between 2004 to 2006, and my dissertation was with respect to Henrich domino theory 1931 and the application of Henrich domino theory into 2004-2006. And what are the results? The results of its application. So when I checked it, you know that Henrich domino theory, it says that 10% is unsafe condition, 88% is unsafe act, and 2% act of God. That's what he derived in 1931. So when I checked these theory and practically I looked at where we are standing, then I found that this unsafe condition was considerably increased, and unsafe act obviously reduced to 75.49%. So between 1931 to 2004-2006, there is a huge difference where the internal responsibility system was not functioning properly. That is what we identified. There is a gap here because from 10% to 24.51% increased. This much we identified that, oh, there is an underlying cause here for why we are not controlling this since 3 years, this accident frequency rate. So what I identified, that in this analysis, there is a gap between, there is no problem from the MD, which is managing director, operations directors, that level, there is no problem, full support. And after that, a project leader is also full support. And we found the gap that what the vision, the mission that the top management, executive management is looking for is not communicated, is not passed. There is a bottleneck here until it reaches to the workers. That's what we identified during this study. So there was a gap: site manager, construction manager, foreman, charge, and etc. So this is what Dr. James Reason is also saying. The number of people, hierarchical in the organization. So these are all managers or the supervisors who supposed to help the frontline leaders. We know now the gap. So the gap, once we know, when we diagnose, we understand where is the problem, then we know how to tackle it. So what we did, that with the help of management support, anyway, we had a very good health and safety management system from UK. With that, how we fixed the gap? We took, personally, I was the health and safety manager for this OTCI project, which I have taken as a sample. And this project was very big, 1.07 billion project. It was 104 subcontractors, 7,000 operatives, 24/6 they were working. So in this project, sample project, we took 254 charge hands who are the supervisors, the real revenue generators. We made them as a leader. And obviously that has to be the way, because they are the workers and the supervisors are the revenue generators, isn't it? So for them, we need to make sure that this bottleneck is widened. So we make sure that from the top management until the supervisor or the charge and workers, they have to get the full support on health and safety management system, safe system of work. What we did in with these 254 charges, let me take you through. First, when I address this incident control tools, I'm taking you through few incident control tools as per OSAS 18001. Under the clause 4.4.2 in OSAS 18001, competence, training, and awareness, if you refer, I developed one training that is what, a drinking cup of coffee, which is a behavior-based safety training. So I developed this, and we made a group of construction manager, site manager, foreman, sergeant. So we made this team to attend this training. So we sat together. We identified the hazards associated with the drinking cup of coffee and the risk associated with that. So that is what 4.3.1, you know, the risk assessment and method statement. So when we developed these risk control measures, I asked all these managers that who is responsible for drinking cup of coffee. They said that it is self. So again, I asked them that this is the same way that when you are doing your own job for which you are responsible, you have to make sure that the safe system of work has to be there. That means health and safety, quality, everything is a part of that production, safe production. They realized, which is the IRS, which I was trying to connect the internal responsibility system. And that comes under management and leadership under 4.4.1 clause. So that triggered that behavior-based safety within them, that everyone is responsible for safety. And another thing what we did, that we were having safety assistants under the safety department. We first of all removed those safety assistants from the health and safety department. Thereby we cut the dependency from these managers. So always they used to depend on these safety assistants, that to go and do this, you know, you replace the cones, you replace the guardrails, etc. So that was completely stopped. So they had to make by themselves. We only kept 3 health and safety staff, me being health and safety manager, and along with me, 1 senior safety professional in the night, 1 in the day. So we kept only 3, and we coordinated with all, from top-down approach or bottom-up approach. We were liaising, we were being a catalyst, we were helping them. Another one, incident control tools to mention for you here, that you know, implementation operation control under 4.4.6. We group as a team, we developed one incentive scheme, which is integrated management system incentive scheme, where environment, health and safety had 60 points, quality 10 points, production 20, timekeeping 10. So total 100 marks. So out of these 100 marks, top 3 charges out of these 254, whoever the highest scorers, they will get the chargent, will get a 200 dirhams plus certificate, and his team members, maybe 8, maybe 10, maybe 12, depends upon their responsibility. So all these team members will get 1 certificate and 100 dirhams. So if the team doesn't work properly, obviously they are the loser. So it is like a cricket team. So I will explain you how this incentive scheme we developed. Let us see this incentive scheme. So if you look at this IMS incentive scheme criteria, so this is what the criterias 1 to 10 here. So number 1 is injury reports from clinic. If their team members have got injury, then, you know, depending upon this criteria, they may get -10 also, or they may get a 10 mark. If you refer the item number 2, safety inspection prior to put men at work. Here, this is a part of the law anyways, they have to do. And if they do it regularly, then they score 10 or 0 to 10. Irregular means 5. Task-specific job safety analysis prior to start of work. That prior to start of any work, any new task, they have to develop job hazard analysis or job safety analysis, whatever you call. If they do it, then if it is regular, then it is a 10 marks. If not, it is irregular 5 and 0. Safety violation slips. So if you look at it here, the evaluators are also mentioned. So if a site manager goes, or project manager goes, or health and safety department, or the operation director, anybody goes, and if they found the violations, safety violation, accordingly they will score 0 to 10. If it is safety violation is there, it's a serious violation, then they will lose the marks. And if there is no violation, they will get 10 marks. Delivery of toolbox stock. This is one of the very important legal aspect, that not only the job hazard analysis you do, you also deliver the toolbox stock specific to the job safety analysis you developed. So it is not a general toolbox stock. It has to be the job specific job specific toolbox stock. So if they do it, then they will get between 0 to 10 the marks. Timekeeping is not alone health and safety. So now timekeeping comes into the picture, where operation manager and timekeeper evaluates, and they score 0 to 10. Here what happened, that this unauthorized absence, or sitting at the corner of the building and not working, everything stopped. Unnecessary absence stopped by this one criteria. Good practices, anyway, that whenever we are identifying good practices, we as health and safety professionals, we identify, we make them heroes. We display in the Aurora, we display in the notice boards. So we recognize for the good practices, and obviously they will get 0 to 10 in that. So quality issues, again, depending upon the quality manager and how he sees the performance of that chargeants and their team members. If there is no problem, then they will get 10 marks. And it's not only up to this quality, it's also production. So if a site manager, site agents are giving a task to chargeant and chargeant, then these chargeant, they have to complete the task within the time limit. So here you see that there are 20 marks, 10 marks assessed by site manager for overall target, and other one is the site engineer, site agent, so they used to give. So 20 marks. So they cannot say that I couldn't finish my target, I couldn't finish my production on time. So they have to focus on production. They have to make that production in quality. They have to be timekeepers, very good at timekeeping, their time management they have to manage. And also health and safety, all these 60 marks, 66 criteria they have to adopt. So that means it's all integrated, safe, integrated management system. That's what we try to build up within that leaders, immediate leaders. Now, if you look at it, that's again, I'm trying to connect Dr. James Reason's the approach to the system approach here, the person approach and the system approach. So we're trying to connect the internal responsibility system. So this is how we generated in the among the 254 chargeants. One more criteria that we already seen in the IMS incentive scheme, that just to highlight that under 4.5.1, which is workplace inspection and task briefing, that was linked with the incentive scheme that you already seen it. So total 6,071 reports that we used to evaluate from these 254 chargeants. It was a huge task for health and safety department to evaluate and give the marks. That is only for one criteria. So this is one of the incident control tool that I'm trying to give you the highlight of it. Under 4.5.3, as you see that the first criteria in the IMS incentive scheme, that first aid clinic referral slips, that is what we introduced. In that first aid clinic referral slips, if anybody injured, any worker is injured, the charge and foreman, site agent, the site agents, we made them authorized, site engineer made them authorized to sign that clinic slips. If a first aid injuries happened, then they will take that slip, go to the clinic, and then only they know that we are having a record that who's the manager and who has a given job. So that helped. Even sometimes 1 day off or 2 day off, this is called a non-reportable lost time accident, in which also this helped for the site managers. They had to go, we trained them how to do the incident investigation. So they had to go and do the incident investigation. And they identified that where it went wrong, where is the gap in with respect to the job that they wanted their sergeant have to perform and give the productivity. So that helped them to revise this safe system work, so that helped us in that project to control the first aid cases. Where in the airport project for 9,500 people, we were having 1,335 first aid cases per month. That was reduced in that project to 98 for 7,000 people. So that means first aid cases were reduced from 14.05% to 1.4%. Whilst doing, I have taken only the few incident control tools. Whilst doing this, management and the leadership clause, which is 4.4.1, high visibility tour. This was conducted by the operation directors on monthly basis, managing director on quarterly basis, health safety environment director from the UK, who also visited the site, and everybody appreciated this safety cultural work, the way the development is happening. They were very happy, and this cultural change news published in the InfoWorks UK. With this practical approach, we have taken this tool further to implement to the operation division. That means if you refer, I'm trying to show you the organogram of the projects here. So here I was having around 30 health and safety professionals, and in which the top management, when they realized from this 2 years practical approach from the OTCI sample project, they approved to take it forward to apply all the operations division and the trading division. So we developed together with the help of HR department incident control tools, that is internal responsibility system, percentage of responsibility established in compliance with the OSAS 18001 clauses for all projects, and that was connected to the functions of various disciplines within that project. That is a quality, site manager, contracts and commercial, procurement manager, HR manager, MEP manager, admin manager. So all functions are there, because it is end of the day, it is a humans. So layers of defenses. So we were trying to build up this internal responsibility system, shared responsibility in the incident control tools. I'm taking you through here where the management is fully supported with the increment and promotion. If you refer incident control tools and incentive scheme, and pretty much I'm sure that you are all aware of this, the plans, requirement and all. On the left hand side, you will find all the descriptions. On the right hand side, it is written when it has to be done, and all the responsible managers here. And legal reference with respect to ministerial order here, and our SMS reference, which is a safety management system reference for UK. And total, if you look at it here, the percentage of responsibility is shared in each and every elements of the HSE management system. So yes, so if you see, there are total 51 incident control tools we developed. So finally, with this shared percentage of responsibility, we also set up, management also approved for this incentive scheme, that first achievement, second achievement, third achievement, that they are getting 3,000 to 5,000 dirhams plus certificate. And also there was a stick approach. So first time, if anybody scored between 50 to 80%, according to the job responsibility that they had, and the warning letter, and any one time less than 50% or 50 to 80% for a third time, then they will be dismissed from the company. So there is a carrot and stick approach incident control tools we developed with respect to OSAS 18001 clauses, UK HSE management system elements. So we also trained, when we did this, we trained on this for all the project managers, construction managers, site managers. We already had a practical approach in OTCA project, and we also laced with all functions, top-down, bottom-up approach as a catalyst. We did it to reduce this leadership bottleneck. So in this, when we helped, the score, how the score was generated, the average foreman score was the site agent, and the site agent average score was the site manager, and site manager, section manager, construction manager. And if a project manager has to get a good mark, then all these, the internal responsibility managers, the managers under him, hierarchical managers, they have to score very well. So this really connected the people together. As a result, if you can see the graph here, it from February 07.11 accident frequency ratio. So that means somewhere around 900,000 there was a lost time injury by that time. But in 7 months time, by September 07, it reduced to 0.05. It's an incredible achievement that we got just in 7 months time, which was not possible in the previous 3 years. Lion Group chairman was also very happy because his AFR objective was 1 lost time injury per million hours. That means a 0.10, where we achieved 0.05. That means 1 lost time injury per 2 million hours, double than what he expected. We achieved in 7 months time. Now, from the same first sample project, there were 3 project managers. One of them, that team they were promoted to Jumeirah Golf Estate after the OTCA project, where they got a 500 million project to manage, to construct 183 villas. That team, the first aid injury was reduced to 1% only, and there was no reportable lost time injury. Also, they won Dubai EHS Gold Award. So this is proving again that once you develop the safety culture within the team, then the same team works in a safe system of work, and it continues, and it proves that we can reduce the occupational illness and injuries. This is what I got the lesson from Dubai model. From Dubai, this model, I thought that we can do it in India. And in the airport, Bangalore airport project, when I tried to apply this same model, I received several challenges. I faced a number of challenges. Some of the comments that I heard, that safety is important, and nobody will say that safety is not important. Safety is important. We are ready to invest, but can't afford Middle East budget. So don't give us anything, strategies like you implemented in Dubai, please. We already completed major projects. We faced a number of challenges. We have good health and safety management system. Don't worry, we have health and safety department is there to take care. So the risk retention without knowledge was very high there. So we worked together, Bangalore International Airport project team and L&T health and safety team and the operations team. We all worked together. We draw 38 incident control tools. We couldn't do 51. As I said, this is not one standard incident control tools. It depending upon the risk, the project risk, depending upon the location, depending upon the company, depending upon the situations. These incident controls to vary. There could be a number of incident controls we cannot, but there are some cannot implement. There are some incident controls that mandatory that we need to focus more. So we draw here 38 incident control tools. Surprisingly, here we got much better results than Dubai. So here, if you refer in 6 months' time, we won, Bial project won CII EHS Excellence Awards, competing more than 64 the major competitors. And also, very interestingly, we achieved better than the Dubai accident frequency rate here. So one lost time injury per 3.5 million man hours. This is a significant achievement in Bangalore Airport project. So I took this model again. So from Dubai to Bangalore Airport, from Bangalore Airport from India, and I took back to my project in South Shamka, that is in Abu Dhabi, which was a 7 billion infrastructure project where 4 contractors were working. 7,500 operatives, 48 health and safety staff, and we developed incident control tools, 38 over there, and we generated this internal responsibility system. The enthusiasm, we came all together by having a teamwork, and we achieved one lost time injury per 10 million hours. This is more significant than Dubai to India, from India to UAE back. So it is 1 LTI per 10 million hours. The same model, when I managed the Qatar Al Khul Economic Zone project, Marine Economic Zone project, Qatar QZ3 project, it was a 4 billion infrastructure project, 5 contractors, 3,500 operatives working, 84 health and safety staff were there. We draw incident control tools 41. We also achieved in this infrastructure project 1 LTI per 10 million hours. So in infrastructure project, in both the infrastructure projects, this model worked. This model worked in Dubai, invented in Dubai, and worked in Dubai, and worked in India better. From India to UAE, we achieved much better, and the same record we achieved in Qatar. So whilst doing this, accident frequency rate management in all the countries that I worked, it's a huge pressure. The stress management was, it's really, really tough. It was one way we had a tough target, which is normal, and we have to make sure that the site doesn't have lost time injury. And particularly, we set the target that accident frequency rate, we kept it as 1 LTI per 2 million hours. So we have to maintain that. So to maintain that, to maintain this injury-free site, the stress, not only for self, for everybody, was enormous stress was there. And during this stage, my machine, my health was started deteriorating to an extent that HbA1c was 10.5. Although I had 3 powerful tablets, HbA1c shot up to 10.5. So doctor was pushing me to go for insulin, because now the tablets were not working at all. So that time I realized that if my machine, if myself I'm not good, how I would be helpful for the project to control this accident frequency rate, how I can help others, how I can help the OHS community, the population, the major population at work site. This developed a craving for me to study yogic science since 2016. I was aware of this yoga practices. I took a training since 1999 from KMC Manipal, but this was only limited to the the bending, twisting. That's all I knew. But when I learned this yogic science in 2016, I learned about this experiencing on physical body, that we are made up of cells. In each cell, we have physical body, mental body, emotional body, and energy bodies. I started experiencing these four bodies and the management of how to manage these four bodies. So on these fundamentals, I started to experience it. That's why it is experiencing only. It is not written in the book. That's why it is called the science of knowing. And this study helped me to draw what kind of diet I must have, for what kind of work I do, and how I have to rest. This is simple, fundamental basics. Same like how our car works. So similarly, how our machine, car also has machine, we also have machine. So how this machine has to have diet, work, and rest. Rest means it's not a sleep. Sleeping is not a solution. Rest is the solution. And that helps for the better waste management. This is how input in the process, productivity, and the waste management, that applies for us as well. As a result, in 1.5 years, so from 2016 to 2017, somewhere around September, then my diabetes started reversing. I found much improvement in my health. I was more energetic. I was more productive than before. When I learned this, I started to check with my colleagues in the project. So then I realized that everybody is under heavy, under stress, and everybody is having one or other ill health issues like diabetes or hypertension or insomnia or weight gain, etc. There are a number of obesity, etc. There are a number of issues that they were also facing. So when I realized that how my machine works better, then I thought to give it to them. I wanted to share with them. So we collected 33 senior members, senior management staff over there. We conducted around 5 sessions, and they found much benefits, which they shared in Facebook. It helped for diabetes, insomnia, hypertension, etc. Thereby, they became more productive. So that's how we together we able to manage this work site pretty much better. We delivered in a Qatar IOSH branch meeting where more than 100 safety professionals attended. They found they found more benefited. There are a number of feedback about the same. In 2018, I further studied on yogic science, and I was able to perform Mayurasana better, and spontaneously by doing this Mayurasana, my spondylitis completely vanished. Since then, there is no spondylitis for me. And also, I asked my boys to practice. Their asthma also completely gone. Since 2018 until now, there is no asthma for them. So this contribution, I participated in the video contest on 6th International Day of Yoga, and where I won the 3rd prize from the High Commission of India, Ottawa. So by this time, I know that if I manage, so far what we learned, that if you want to manage occupational health and safety outside, you must manage the self. That means our machine must be in a good condition. That means our health must be the foundation. Then only we can perform better in the outside world in occupational health and safety. So with this better production machine, I got another assignment in 2019 to work with the Garaf Underpass project. As usual, we had a high client pressure to open the underpass within 2.5 months, which was impossible task for all of us. Everybody was worrying that how we will achieve this task. It was already 7 years of project, but this particular underpass, the client wanted to open it. Senior staff change management was happening at that time, extreme weather on the other side. It was a huge challenge for all of us. So here, with the better productivity machine, I could manage the OHS management, liaising with all the stakeholders much better than before. So here we developed a specific HSE team from 120 plus safety professions were there to manage this 5,000 operatives underpass project. We did a daily safety walk and we helped the construction team solving the problem instantly, and we put them all into safe system of work. We together, we achieved this critical milestone, and we handed over this underpass on 1st of September 2019 without any first aid cases. This was a magnificent, incredible achievement that never ever anybody can think of. It was really was possible because of the teamwork that we worked together, and we could see a big picture and how we can manage this to help each other and to come together and tackle this situation. Another one similar challenge that I faced, that was Lusail Plaza Tower project. There was also 20 health and safety NCRs pending for 3.5 months. The client pressure was high, contractors' resistance was another side, and PMC was also very much upset on this. And because there were issues and it has to be solved, but it was a bottleneck there. So this contractor was always saying that we have a good record of 105 million man hours we achieved in other projects, so we are doing better. So they were having resistance to accept the weakness, but was able to, with this better productivity machine, I was able to liaise with the executive management of the contractor and connected the contractor within health and safety department and execution department very well. They gelled very well. We also tried to connect the client, PMC, consultant, contract, all. We came to a single page of understanding. We audited them and we presented to the contractor and made them to understand. And we assisted also to resolve how these overdue health and safety issues can be solved. That helped, that triggered a lot of interest, lots of enthusiasm. We all worked together, and in 2 weeks' time, this 3.5 months problems were resolved. So take-home message is this: science of knowledge. That means external world management. So in this, what you have to do to be successful, do the right thing for right thing to happen. This is the thumb rule. OHS professionals stethoscope. If you look at how the doctors are diagnosing the problem, we also have a tool, ISO 45001 or OSAS 18001. We are also construction doctor, right? So OSAS 18001, ISO 45001. Using this, we should be able to, with the competency ISO 45001. With this, we should be able to diagnose the workplace situation better. This is what a doctor does as well. Doctor studies for medical for many years. He practices and keeps all this competency. And then individual patient, when he comes, he diagnoses, stay asking the history, and then he prescribes the medicine. maybe the laboratory records, he will also have it. Then he will prescribe the medicine. That is what doctor does. Similarly, we also construction doctor. We have to be competent in the field that we are working. Plus ISO 45001. This is the mother, and we have to keep that one in mind. We have to diagnose the workplace or the company or the management, and we draw business specific integrated management system incident control tools. We should be in that position to prescribe that what element is very much significant here, how many elements we need to draw, how we need to implement this in the quickest possible way. So there is no substitution for implementation and operation control. Just only drawing doesn't solve the problem. We have to make sure that people are connected. We have to work together. We have to connect the people, and we have to work towards a safe production by connecting the people. So layers of defenses need to be together. Incident control tools means organization failure and human error. This is what the prevention. So I'm again touching Dr. James' reasons of theory about the organization failure and human error. Is both nothing but is a human only. So we have to develop this incident control tools specific to the material, equipment, environment, people, and procedure. So how to manage these myths? We have to develop these incident control tools, liaising with project manager, site manager, supervisor, commercial contract manager, procurement, HR manager, administration, admin manager, etc. All these layers of defenses, all these people, all these human, we need to come together. And health and safety professional, he has to always use the selling leadership, and we have to work liaising with all these departments, top-down approach, a bottom-up approach, and we have to connect them to work together towards the safe production using this selling leadership style, because end of the day, frontline worker and his immediate supervisor are the real revenue generators. As I said earlier also, OHS professional, you need to be proud of yourself, because doctor diagnoses and treats the illness or injury. But we, OHS professional, prevents the people going to the doctor. We are the one from at least from the discipline wherever we are working, we are trying to prevent the illness, occupational illness and occupational injury that reaches to the doctor. So we are one step behind. We are one of the layers of defense as well in controlling this illness and injury. So OHS professional is a service provider. So we always need to be a giving attitude. We have to help, we have to assist to clear the bottleneck. Our role is similar to the financial or production manager, project manager, or the managing that much of the significance. Our role is just only by calling advisory won't help, because advisory is a part of the internal responsibility system. End of the day, we are part of the production, we are part of the business. So we need to make sure that occupational illness and injury or occupational environment related, the cost, there is no loss from related to this occupational illness, injury, and occupational environment cost to the company. So we need to be competent, protect and promote environment, health, and safety above any consideration of self-interest. This is what the external world or science of knowledge, when we are stepping out and when we are dealing with the occupations related. Now, to do that, we have to be very good in the science of knowing. It means knowing self, how our machine is all about. So one good news that the latest I attended Ayush webinar on Draft International Standard 45003 regarding the psychological health and safety at work, managing psycho-social risk. So now the world leaders are coming together to work on this mental wellness program. So this is related to the self-management. So that if we manage ourselves better, the external world we can do much better. However, the yogic science is the fundamental, because when we talk about the human, we are having physical body, we have mental body, that thoughts are generated, we have emotions that suppose the thoughts. So emotion body we have energy body to do any activities. So physical body, mental body, emotional body, and energy body. So all these bodies, all these four bodies were very precisely touched in the yogic science. So every human being must know the human yogic science, because that is how we manage our own machine very well. If we manage our machine well, then I kept this Maslow's hierarchical human needs on top of it. Then all these basic needs, psychological needs, self-fulfillment needs, maybe the graph may change. So if we manage the healthy employees, then the healthy business will happen and healthy profits will come out. So we need to have a psychologically healthy workplace. So world is moving towards the 45,003, which is not yet released, but right now it is in draft international standard. So we are developing much on this area. But if you study yogic science, it is really very much productive, and it is really helpful to preventing this illness and injury for self, within the family, and also outside world, when we go and manage different businesses, different occupations, in order to fulfill our human needs. The holistic approach I wanted to say here, that in triple bottom line and life, is the fundamental is yogic science for every human being must have to have, plus the professional competency to fulfill the hierarchical human needs. With this knowledge, skill, attitude, and we gain competence. Whilst having this competence, we always manage the material equipment, environment, people, procedure 24/7. No exception. There is no way that we can escape from these myths. So if we know how to manage this with this yogic science and a professional competence, if we know how to manage this 24/7, then a safe system of work performed very well, and we can climb the ladder. I just gave the example here, our past Prime Minister of India, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So name and fame, self-fulfillment needs and everything is there, everybody is around. But the moment when we lose our health or caused injury, then obviously health is lost. If health is lost, then there is no external world. So external world only to limited to our perception, as long as our internal world is functioning better. So inner engineering first, external engineering next. So here, if you look at it, the Prime Minister's health conditions for a couple of years was deteriorating very badly, and there were few people around him only. So if you are good, everybody is there. If you are good at our health, everybody is around. If our health is not good, then foundation is lost. So with this, incident control tools is related to the external engineering. The yogic science related to the inner engineering. But the key is the yogic science, that inner engineering, management of self. When we manage ourselves self, then we focus with the incident control tools in the external world. And that will be the successful business for any company, any business, any organizations, or for the planet Earth. That is how we need to live, and we have to let live other younger generations. We have to make this sustainable business for the future generation. That is what our motto is. That is what our noble profession is. Thank you very much for your time, ASSP India chapter and all participants.
Yeah, Digantika.
Yeah, good evening. Digantika has just now given me a message that she has to live. So I would once again thank Dr. Ganapati and hand over to our colleague in the committee, Purushottaman, who is going to, communicate formal vote of thanks and, also give a little bit of summary of the, uh, talk for such a wonderful talk in the last nearly 2 hours. Yeah.
Yes.
So, thank you very much from my side. What to you? Yeah, please.
To thank, this is Dr. Maher. I would like to thank my brother and my friend and my professional Dr. Manshi. My words, if I talk about Manshi, I can talk 8 hours without rest, and I can do it. He is really the best professional for HSE, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and God bless us with having this Dr. Manshi in our mega project in Manatik UAZ3, and also he mentioned about Garrafa underpass was of the challenge. And I need all of you to know that working with Ashghal is not an easy job. They finish 5 years project within 2 or 3 years, and we did it also after we left the Aegis, Dr. Manchi. I did lead the Al Khor Expressway project. You can everyone Google Al Khor, ALKHOR Expressway project, and you can see we did art. It's not a project, it's art, it's paint, it's wall paint. Everyone can look, Google this project and see. This project is supposed to be designed for 5 years. We get to succeed to finish within 2 years, and we open for traffic. A huge project. And Dr. Manshi was one of the best people who helped us in arranging design issues and all the LTIs, all the HSE plans, execution plan. So thank you very much, Dr. Manshi. I was honored and proud that I worked with you. Other thing, technically, I would like to Dr. Manshi to add in any next future webinars. You see now, safety became a paramount in the world now. The priority in Europe, it preceded the quality also. They made it in the innovative new solution called lean construction. Lean construction is a new industry coming to the construction. So now we started lean construction last year or 2 years ago with 5S. Now became 6S. They are starting to say 5S plus safety. 5S plus safety. 5S plus safety, and this one of the principles of new innovative came to the construction is they are applying it newly in Doha with Ashghal, and I just need to Dr. Manshi to take care of this topic in the future webinar. Thank you very much, and Allah bless, God bless all of you. Allah bless India. I love India as I love myself, so no difference between Canada or India or any country or Qatar or this. India is one of the best, and India deserves the best. So we need all together work to make India #1. And I don't want next time to say Dr. James Rest. With all respect to Dr. James Rest, we need to show something from Dr. Manshi. And you innovated lots of things. Theory, you can send us 2 books immediately. The books that you showed me during our project, it was before 5 years. So thank you very much.
Yeah, great achievement, excellent presentation, Dr. Kanapati.
Yes.
Well done, Dr. Kanapati, for your contribution to the society. You gave your 20 years of experience in within 1.5 hours, as a juice to all the participants. Thank you very well. And Purushothaman, you can give the vote of thanks.
I can tell
Yes.
one. Thank you.
Good evening, brother. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, first of all, very much thank you, Dr. Ganapati Bhatt Manchi from Canada for giving such a wonderful and totally different presentation. Since it will be only giving safety ideas, principles, but you differently touch the entirely with the safety philosophy with yogic science and a mixture of both, which is the need of our today. If you see the human crimes also, it's very high today. And day-to-day life, if any page opens, the human crimes are very high. So the yogic science and controlling emotions and to the frequency gambling and all those things, many things were touched. If I say that I can say recapping all those topics, it will take a lot of times, but you almost you had 3 decades of experience and you achieved many laurels, and especially with zero LTI and 0.5 LTI and 1 LTI in India. By you have touched so many people, 7,500 workers, and even you touched upon many things like two months projects. I know in 2 months, 3 months project, what is the pressure? Because I also worked in one of the project in India where 67 days hockey stadium, close to 5,000 people. I don't know what is the challenges and the time pressure. And Canada, it's really very great, and you really touched the way you presented, and also the many things we have learned. Many things I can say, so many things. How the incident control techniques and the frequency gambling, how the human error and how to change the frequency. You are addressed upon how these small first aid cases routed through the in charges, so drastically the first aid cases got down, and the project directors and each and every charge hands they're giving the this one. So I can say so much time. It will take almost couple of times if I touch upon all those things. But really very nice, and is very nicely presented and in-depth way the actual implementation. And a few of the things, even you also touched upon ISO 43003, which is in the process of making for the addressing in addition to the OSHA, sorry, ISO 40000 psychological needs of the things. And also you also shared your own experience in HS1B and AC from 10.5% by following the yogic experiences. And the other word also I also liked very much, do the right thing for the right thing to happen. So it's also really eye opener, I can say, from you learn from you and your experiences. And all those things, really thankful, and you very rightly projected the way the competence, skills, and experiences matters for us, and especially with the safety. And also given the thought on the safety professionals much ahead of the other healthcare and other thing. We are not allowing them to visit consulting the health professionals, and the importance of the health in one's own life, including your given a personal example. So thank you very much for accepting this our invitation, and also presented such a nice manner. Thank you once again, Mr. Ganapati Bhatt from ASSP India chapter. I would also like to thank the participants in spite of the weekends, and we are working from remotely, virtually, all those things. So the participants at the peak, it was 68 participants. It's really overwhelming. And there are participants from the different parts of the globe. Mr. Mahar Abdullah and Mr. Ashok Garlapati, he also ASSP Regional Director, Mr. Ashok Garlapati from Kuwait, and Mr. Janardhan also, once he was basically from Philippines, he just came to India for a break. Okay, so there are many participants across the globe, not only India, almost I can say 5 to 8 countries. The participants are there. Thank you all the participants who were participated till the last moment, and you are encouraging, you are engaging with the questions and other things. And finally, I would like to thank all the ASSP committee members who are actively involved, Mr. Kainson, Mr. Varadarajan, Ms. Digantika Ghosh, and all other people who directly and indirectly made this webinar a grand success. Thank you one and all. We would like to meet once again with a good such presentations in future. We need your cooperation. Thank you.
Thank
you. Thank you. Yeah. So with this, we can close the webinar. Thank you for all.
Thank you very much. Very nice session.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ganapati.
Very
Nice
good
to see you
session.
again.
We learned a lot, and we can implement many of these.
Thank you all of you. Thank you.